Hello, my name is Barshal. I'm a program manager with the Visual Studio Azure Tools team, and I'm here today to talk about the diagnostics tooling improvements we've done in Visual Studio and the Windows Azure SDK 2.2. Let's get started. I have a very simple cloud application here, which consists of three tiers. It's a front-end tier, a processing tier, and then it stores the data in SQL storage, in Azure storage. So just to give you an idea what the application does, I'm going to give you a little example, and I'm going to run at 5. And so that will launch the emulator for a local debugging experience. And then once the website is up and running, the application that I build, which is my sample application throughout the demo, is basically a very simple thumbnail generator. So what it does is I actually can browse, I can select an image here. So for example, I can select an image of Real Madrid, and then I just upload it. And what's happening in the background is the image itself gets stored into Azure storage, and then we're going to put a message into an Azure queue, and the worker role picks up that message and basically creates a thumbnail of that image. So it's a multi-layered architecture application. So as you've seen, I'm uploading the image, and I'm hitting a breakpoint. Let's go through it just to show you the result. And I'm getting a message sent to the queue. So what we've actually done here is what I've described. If I go to storage node and see my development storage and go to blobs. So as you can see, the application has done exactly what we expected. It added the Real Madrid image to the blob container, and it also created a thumbnail. So the first thing I want to show you today is how you can use the new functionality, edit and continue, which we light up in Visual Studio 2013 with the SDK 2.2. We light it up for web roles and worker roles. For web roles, you really need to make sure you're not running W3 WP. So as long as you're using IIS Express, you're fine. So let's look at how it looks like. And I'm going to launch it again, the application in debug mode. And I'm actually using IIS Express on my local site to render that page. All right, so let's pick another image. Let's pick the image for FC Barcelona and upload and hit upload. So as you've noticed, on the worker role itself, I actually set a breakpoint, and the breakpoint is hit. But now, as you've seen before, I'm uploading it to a folder. It's actually called Glob Thumbnails. Let's say I want to make it like country specific, right? So in that particular case, I want to say ESPN for Spain Club Thumbnails. And that's pretty cool because I'm actually in debugging mode, and I can change like code. I can change information in there. And then I just can keep going and continue debugging through my application. And then if I just hit F5 to do a full continue, see message has been sent to the queue. And if I go back to Visual Studio and go to my blob storage container, I can see the changes have been applied. So this is really a huge improvement we ship with the Azure SDK 2.2. It's edit and continue. So in a development lifecycle, let's say I've done my local debugging, my local development. Now I'm at a point where I really want to push it out to Azure because I'm using the local emulators. So I want to do my real first integration test. The next feature I want to show you that we added to the troubleshooting options is actually the remote debugger. So for that, I'm going to go to the Windows Azure Publish dialog. Nothing has changed. I'm going to select my subscription. I'm going to hit Next, and then I'm going to go to Advanced Settings. So as you can see in the advanced settings, we now have an additional option which says enable remote debugger for all roles. So what that actually does is it packages up MSVSmon along with a component that we need to communicate with the roles, adds it into the package, and then we can deploy it up to Azure. So I'm going to hit Next, and then for the sake of time, I'm not hitting Publish. I already published the service. So let me switch over to the project that actually has the published service. So here is the service. As you can see, it's exactly the same code. It has the worker role, the front end, and processing tier. And the publish has been successful. If we look at the activity log, so I published it, everything works fine. So now let's try the application again. Let's go in here, go to SDK demo, go to my production slot and launch the application in browser. So this is the application, as you can see in the browser. This is the live application running on Azure as a cloud service. And let's do the same thing again. Pick an image. Let's take the Borussia Dortmund one and upload it. So message sent to the queue. As we've seen locally, now if I drill into my storage account, and the storage account that I'm using for my queuing service and for my blob storage, I should be able to actually see the images. Let's look at the storage account. I know I use the Visual Demo storage account for storing my images and also for the queuing service. If I go to the blob service here, I can see the images. But then I already have like a Bayern Munich image in there, Real Madrid. But what's really missing here is the thumbnails. So obviously something is really wrong in my service. So what I can do now is